Not bad, but I still think Dricus gets it. I think just late finish, yeah, late finish. Khamzat will, yeah, I think Khamzat will, if he wins, it's the first 2 rounds, or the first round. But Dricus is just chaotic. Chaotic good, chaotic evil. That's literally what this fight might be, chaotic good versus chaotic evil.
What do you think it's gonna take for DDP to stuff the takedowns in here and still?
Bro, this is crazy because I always bet against DDP and he always shut in my mouth. But I'm feeling like this can be a fight as fast as the fight with Khamzat and Whittaker. Like finishing the first round or beginning of the second round, you know. 60% of me say that Khamzat will finish this fight like real fast. But 40% says that Dricus, with his size and height and his weight, he's a big guy for the division. I think he can stop the takedowns or even survive the first 2 rounds, and then the fights gets better for him. So I'm 60-40 on these 2 options.
Right. Hey, by the way, how is Khamzat looking leading into this UFC 319 fight? Like, we had some questions around him even making it into the country. Is he looking sharp going into this DDP fight from what you've seen in the gym?
I mean, I don't go watch it. I don't go watch it every training session. But he's, you know, Khamzat, you know what he's gonna do. He's a fucking beast. He's a wrestler. He's a grappler. He's gonna get relentless pressure. He's gonna start fast and hard. And you know, can Dricus take that? Can he take that first round, that first 2 rounds? I mean, that's what life's about for his fight, his opponents. Can they withstand the barrage? Because he's going to bring it.
As the countdown to Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev heats up, fighters who've been in the trenches are weighing in. From grappling concerns to cardio wars, each expert brings a different angle. One voice that stands out is Robert Whittaker's. Having faced Dricus himself, he's not guessing. He's speaking from first-hand experience.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still leaning towards Dricus because of the experience I have with training with both the guys. I just don't see Khamzat finishing him early. And I see Dricus building in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I see him edging it out, but we'll see. Hopefully it never happens and I can jump in.
Whittaker doesn't sound too confident in Dricus stopping Khamzat's takedowns. He's been there before and knows exactly how hard it is. He hints that once Khamzat grabs hold of someone and backs them up to the cage, it's nearly impossible to shake him off. The real concern isn't round 1 though. It's what happens if the fight keeps going and Khamzat doesn't finish it. That's where Dricus might have something in the tank that could surprise people. He shifts into describing Dricus in a way only someone who's shared the cage with him can. At first, Dricus looks slow, maybe even predictable, but that's the trap. It lures you into thinking you've got everything figured out, that you can dodge, time, and counter. Then, just when you think you're safe, he starts creeping in closer, throwing more risk into his shots, narrowing the distance inch by inch.
How do you stop his takedown? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Dricus will stop Chimaev's takedown.
Okay.
I'd like it. It's like, oh, mate, trust me, it's kept me up at night. I've been just running it back.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like there's a way, but it's tricky. Okay, because once he gets his hand on you, once you back up on that fence, he's going to stay there on you. Now, can he do that? Can he? Because I believe he will get Dricus down. He will control him for a round, but if he can't put him away, what does he look like coming out in round 2?
Yeah.
And then let's say he does it again. What does he look like coming out in round 3? And then we've got that Usman fight again. Okay. And Dricus, like, he's got a gas tank.
Yeah.
He's got that dog in him. He can, if you don't put him away, he'll keep fighting. Like, he'll keep coming at you with his bombs and his punches and his kicks. He'll keep doing it, like, until the bell rings. And I think that's one of his superpowers.
Yeah.
I guess that's the biggest thing in play for this fight. It's just like what Chimaev does with the takedowns. Because I believe there is no doubt in my mind that he gets them. Or what does he do with them?
It's not just about timing or range. It's about how Dricus adjusts mid-fight. Whittaker brings up that unexpected power. Once Dricus finds his rhythm, that slow movement becomes dangerous, and he starts landing. And it's not just taps. It's real, heavy shots. Whittaker felt that power himself, and clearly hasn't forgotten it.
The dude is a weapon. He's a true warrior. And I can say that firsthand because he beat me, right? With the same cumbersome throwing punches, right? It's funny. I saw the same moment Adesanya had in that fight, in his fight, that I had in my fight. And it was somewhere in the first round where you see the punches, you move out of the way of the punches, and you realize like he's slow. I can see them. Like I got this. Like it's almost like you're like, this is too easy. Like I can see everything. And then all of a sudden it hits you. Then he starts climbing on you when he starts closing that gap a little bit more. Like he starts risking it a little bit more, like lunging into his shots, and he closes that inch that you thought you were safe by a little bit. Then there's a factor of his power, and he's got power.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gave a grounded take on the matchup, focusing less on hype and more on strategy. While some point to Duplessis' size, Khabib doesn't see a real advantage there. He believes both fighters will weigh in similarly, and that size won't decide this one.
Главное, чтобы он заехал. В Чикаго же дерется.
Да.
Да, это очень хороший бой. Это вот, знаешь, как кульминационный момент. Знаешь, как вот все, что ты делал, ты готовился к этому, и вот сейчас надо стрельнуть.
Все или ничего.
Надо вот сейчас стрельнуть, я думаю, что это и проверка хорошая.
Instead, it comes down to pace and preparation. Khabib warned that Khamzat can't rely on an early finish. If he goes all out in the first round and doesn't get Dricus out of there, things could go downhill fast. Duplessis has already proven he can go 5 hard rounds, especially in his fight with Sean Strickland, where his volume and awkward rhythm threw off the more technical fighter.
Боев 5, у него такие-то вот
прям запоминающий, да. Он вырубался, вставал, то есть он был на нокдауне.
Он интересный соперник. Он очень крепкий, он будет драться. Такой своеобразный кикбоксинг, руки-ноги выкидывать. Вот что хорошо, вот что плохо, например, у Дюплесси. Он не такой точный, но он очень много выкидывает. Он постоянно выкидывает руки-ноги, постоянно он в атаке, если вы смотрели. Даже Стрикландом. Я в этом бою конкретно ошибся. Я думал, что Стрикланд своим давлением все он должен взять. Но он его перебил. Перебил как своим. Он очень много накидывает, он не стоит. Бывают такие бойцы, вот они заходят, он так думает, кидает, смотрит. Да. А бывают такие, не так сильно у них техника, но он очень много накидывает. Я думаю, что мое личное мнение, я бы Хамзату посоветовал бы, чтобы он в стойке дрался с ним.
Khabib sees Khamzat as the sharper boxer, but emphasized that rushing or abandoning wrestling early, like he did against Burns and Usman, could backfire. The key, according to Khabib, is for Khamzat to come in with a full game plan, stay composed, and expect a war. Because against someone as unorthodox and gritty as Duplessis, winging it won't cut it.
А Хамзат не был в чемпионских раундах. По-моему, не был никогда.
В 5 не был.
Не был. А этот пацан последние сколько? 4 года? Еще до чемпионства, еще в главных боях.
Опыт у него колоссальный.
Да, у него опыт большой, надо учитывать. Просто, когда ты готовишься к такому бою, ты должен рассматривать все сценарии. Ты не можешь, я зайду и откручу. Ты должен смотреть, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот сюда зайдем. Ты должен все сценарии смотреть. Просто мне, например, ставить план на бой для меня, не составляло такого труда. У меня был всегда один план. Я заходил, я переводил. Если получится, переведу. Если не получится, я буду 100 раз проходить.
Да.
Просто Хамзата в боях ты этого не видишь. Например, с тем же с Камару, с тем же с Гилбертом.
Да.
В поздних раундах он перестает бороться, он уже дерется стойки.
Chael Sonnen approaches this matchup from a completely different angle, one that mixes logic, history, and everything that's gone around the fight. He doesn't just talk about who's stronger or faster. He steps back, looks at the division, the momentum, and the ripple effects of what this clash means. Sonnen doesn't rush into choosing sides. Instead, he brings attention to how people have viewed Khamzat for years. The guy everyone assumed was the best at 185. But now, Dricus has stepped up, and that changes the story. It's not just hype anymore. anymore. Dricus is in that conversation, and he's forced people to look at him differently. Even Sonnen, who's never shy about backing strong personalities, is starting to view things with a bit more curiosity. He even brings in what other middleweights are saying behind the scenes. Apparently, when fighters were asked about Dricus versus Khamzat, many of them avoided giving a straight answer and started talking about someone else entirely. That silence says a lot. It's like no one wants to pick sides just yet, and that hesitation is something Sonnen definitely picks up on.
Like, I have never seen 185 so hard. I don't know who the best guy is. I always assumed it was Chimaev because that's what we were told every day. But all of a sudden, this guy named Dricus steps forward. He's this huge problem. I haven't seen anything out of Bo Nickel that makes me believe he isn't good enough to be champion. I haven't seen anything about Izzy that doesn't make me think that he can still disrupt a bracket. Then you've got Imanov and you've got this Kyle Barao. And it was fellow 85-pounders. I can't remember which ones, but they interviewed fellow 185-pounders and asked them about Chimaev and Dricus. And 3 for 3 found a way to get off of that topic and get it on to Barao. According to middleweights,
Belal Muhammad weighed in with his thoughts, and he's got a sharp take on how this matchup could go. Belal thinks that a lot of people are underestimating Khamzat's cardio, and that's a big mistake. He agrees with what Khabib once said. If Khamzat stays standing and chooses to strike, he'll actually do pretty well. DDP's awkward style might cause some trouble, but Belal points out that Dricus gets hit a lot and often tires out his opponents with constant pressure. But here's the real insight. Belal warns Khamzat not to go all out in the first round. If he charges in and uses up all his energy trying to land a takedown, DDP could just defend and wait it out, which might burn Khamzat out early. Belal's advice is to be smart, keep the fight standing in the early rounds, and then slowly wear DDP down as the fight goes on.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with him, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds, you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively. He's strong, obviously. And then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet and definitely crisper on the ground.
Michael Bisping isn't sugarcoating anything when it comes to Khamzat Chimaev. From the moment he starts talking, you can tell he sees Khamzat as a straight-up wrecking ball. The way he charges forward, overwhelms opponents, and makes everything look violent and fast. Bisping highlights that Khamzat doesn't play chess in there. He just storms in and breaks people early.
Khamzat Chimaev is a force of nature, and he only knows how to fight one speed, and that's why people really enjoy watching this guy fight. He goes forward, he's a straight-up killer, he's looking to take you down, do damage, knock you out, squeeze your head off. Whatever it is, he's trying to do damage right from the opening bell.
He brings up the stats, and they're hard to argue with. 14 wins, most of them finishes. The only times Khamzat's fights have gone, the distance were against names like Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. And in both those fights, Bisping noticed something that keeps coming up. Chimaev tends to fade. That all gas, no brakes style. It might be dangerous at the start, but it raises serious questions if the fight drags on.
And that's what he's done to almost everybody. 14 wins, 12 stoppages. Only time he's gone to a decision is twice against Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. And we know what happened there. He got a little bit tired. And against Kamaru Usman, well, he was kind of lucky to get that decision. I'm not talking shit about Khamzat Chimaev. I think he's phenomenal. But I think he's got some problems here going 5 rounds against Dricus du Plessis. We've never seen him go 5 rounds. But we do know the man is a finisher. He is a phenom. He's a freak of nature. He's a strong son of a bitch. He's a great wrestler. He might not have the accolades of a Bo Nickel, but holy shit, when it comes to being effective, Khamzat Chimaev is right. Importantly, he has a gas tank. He has had no problems going 5 rounds. The 2 times Khamzat went to a decision was when he couldn't get the finish in the first or second round. And that's when Gilbert Burns started to take over. That's when Kamaru Usman had a lot of success and settled the score, and it almost came out as a draw. And now it's not 3 rounds, it's 5 rounds. And the way that Khamzat Chimaev fights is the way that he fights. He ain't going to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But things are a little different now. Since moving up to middleweight, Khamzat doesn't have to drain himself to make 170. Bisping thinks that's changed the game. He's stronger, more explosive, and recovers faster. And the Robert Whittaker fight, that was a statement. Still, even with that kind of power at 185, Bisping isn't fully convinced Khamzat can keep that same storm going for 5 full rounds, especially against someone who doesn't back down like Dricus.
Of course, since Khamzat Chimaev moved up to 185 pounds, he's looked phenomenal, okay? The way that he destroyed Robert Whittaker, that was so impressive. And I don't know why he was killing himself on the scales to make 170 in the first place. Remember when he was supposed to fight Nate Diaz, he came in like 8 or 9 pounds over, just flipped everyone off.
Oh my God. 178 and a half.
Said, I'm here to kill everybody. Kill everybody! And that's essentially what he's been doing. And you do lose, you address some things. You address your preparation. You address your weight cut. You address your diet. You address all kinds of shit that you might have been doing wrong. And one of those things might be that I address the fact that I don't pace myself. As I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's going to go full steam ahead. Khamzat Chimaev's going to go right at him. He ain't going to fuck about. He's going to swing for the fence. He's going to pick him up. He's going to try and slam him down. He's going to go berserk. He's going to go mental. And that's what we love about him.
That's where things get interesting. Bisping fully respects Chimaev's killer instinct. He even puts him in the same category as Tom Aspinall when it comes to finishing ability, but he also knows what happens if Khamzat doesn't get that finish early. Fighters like Burns and Usman hung in there and the momentum shifted, so if Dricus survives that early storm, Bisping hints that the pressure might start going the other way.
He's one of the best finishers that we have in mixed martial arts right now. In fact, I will say the 2 best finishers in all of MMA right now, Tom Aspinall and Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat, 14 fights, 12 stoppages, 2 decisions, as I said earlier. And I'm telling you, he's going to try and finish Dricus du Plessis straight away.
While Bisping breaks it down from an analyst's view, Brendan Schaub looks at this matchup like a fight fan who's lived and breathed the sport. You've got Khamzat still undefeated and still carrying that aura of chaos. Then there's Dricus, right in his prime, doing everything wrong, but somehow making it all work. Schaub admits he has no idea how it plays out, and that's exactly what pulls him in.
I'm so intrigued by this one. Am I a prisoner of the moment? I feel like DDP Khamzat is one of the greatest middleweight competitions to ever happen in the UFC. You got Khamzat undefeated, boogeyman, DDP already a middleweight great in a prime of his career. I have no clue how this is going to fold out. No clue. No clue.
He weighs both sides. On one hand, Dricus is durable, awkward, massive, and somehow always finds a way to win. Schaub admits he counted him out before, thought the sloppiness would catch up, but it never did. And now, Dricus is not just surviving, he's dominating. Schaub sees him as one of those guys that you can't really replicate in training, and that makes preparing for him a nightmare.
Gun to the head, DDP is so good, so durable, so big, and just finds a way to win. He's just an absolute winner. He's one of my faves. And he's so unorthodox. And they have Khamzat, this boogeyman, that still on the American front, they're kind of like, who's this guy? A little bit. You know?
But here's where it gets interesting. Schaub has seen Khamzat train up close. And despite the questions about cardio in the past, he makes it clear that's not a concern anymore. He believes Khamzat has the gas tank, but it all comes down to the early rounds. If Khamzat can't get it done early, that's where Dricus might turn the tide and possibly even finish him.
No. Obviously, cardio was an issue for him back in the day. I'm here to tell you now, I've personally, with these peepers, have seen the man train. Cardio is not an issue. But that's all predicated on, let's say Khamzat goes in there and tries to get DDP down in the first 2 rounds and can't get it done, and he gets tired. DDP in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th will finish him, you know? So I'm interested to see what Khamzat's game plan is. I'm also interested to see how good DDP's grappling is. I've heard training room stories where he's just this freak, but I've personally seen Khamzat beat world-class wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys. Like, toy with them. So my question, I know how good Khamzat is. DDP, you know, obviously he's an absolute monster and world champion for a reason, but is Khamzat so good? Is his grappling and all that so good where
even DDP can't withstand the first, couple.
And just when you think Schaub's done, he drops something extra. He doesn't think this will be a one and done. That's how tightly matched he sees them. It's not about who's better. It's about how long each one can stay one step ahead of the other.
I'm so intrigued by this fight. So intrigued. I bet they fight a few times. This won't be the last of it. It's one of those fights. We're getting a trilogy out of this.
So now the question isn't just who's the better fighter, it's who truly stands as the biggest threat in the division. Dricus has made his pick, and it's not who most expected. But what do you think? Is Khamzat the real challenge, or is there someone else who poses an even bigger threat? Let us know in the comments below.